Caleb, going back to week 1 when you faced the Vikings, I know that they didn't blitz probably as much as I guess many would expect, just given Flo's history with that. How do you navigate that in a game when you expect one thing and then it might look completely different?
Yeah, that's why they get paid the big bucks over there too. For those type of situations where you expect them to do something when you're going into a game plan and into a game, and it's kudos to them for being able to completely kind of change it up. And so it's something that I think we've done better with since first game of the year, but adjusting throughout the game, adjusting and having answers and just having open communication on the sideline, just to all be on the same page, from players to player to player to coach and things like that. So, Flo's a great D coordinator, and I'm expecting that he'll have a bunch of different wrinkles, and we got to adjust to those in those games.
Ben was saying that
there's been any coach or defensive coordinator that I've heard you talk about more than Flores.
Yeah.
Is he like top of your list as far as a challenging guy to go against?
Yeah, I would say he's probably one of the more challenging coaches that I've had to go against so far in my career. Obviously, I haven't played every single team yet and every single D coordinator, but up to this point, he's been that. It's all 70 plus plays that you have or so. It's a full mental. You got every single play is he's challenged you to the full mental capacity that you are and can be at, and so. This is always a fun game, going versus Flo and his defense and all his players over there that he has on that side of the ball. It's like I said, it's always fun going versus a D coordinator and a team like this.
Do you think it prompts you to dial in more, like what you're talking about, that just the stakes of knowing that you have to be in it every single play against them?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it prompts me to dial in more. You just understand that you have to be as close to perfect as you can be, and so practice and the small details all matter. Protecting the football, the routes and the depth and the spacing and my timing and everything matters. And so just trying to emphasize that this week, and trying to get our first victory in division.
Your ability to escape pressure, especially when it's coming from your blind side and it's behind you.
Yep.
Is there a way to describe kind of how you can sense, oh, we got to go now? Or the guy is, there were a couple of clips the other day where you're spinning kind of the back way out right as somebody's about to get you.
I don't know, maybe a sixth sense kind of thing. I have no idea. I just, in the moment, and in those times, it's, I just feel a little color or, maybe feel the tackle or, something getting edged and, just try and get out of it, make a play.
Kevin O'Connell was saying that when you're in play action or you break contain, you just admire your ability for high level of difficulty throws. He said he even rewatches some of your incompletions just because of the level of difficulty. Is that something that's always been there for you or something you've honed?
What part? Like just the high level?
Yes.
I think it's something that I've worked on over my career. I think I've been able to work on those things for many years before it became such a big emphasis, I guess, in my game that everybody always talks about. But I think those get all the credit and things like that, and some of the smaller plays that I make don't. And so I've just been trying to hone in and work on my craft to be able to complete every single ball whenever it's needed to be able to help my guys win.
Caleb, at this point last year, you had taken 38 sacks, and you cut that number down by more than half. Like, how significant is that?
Yeah, it's huge. Partly, the part of it is the guys I got up front. They've been awesome for me and for us, and so kudos to them and love those guys up front. And then the other half of it is, I think coaches' emphasis on me getting the ball out, and then when it's time to go make a play, make the plays, and it's time to throw it away. And so I think just doing a better job with that overall this year, and I got to keep getting better with that and try and lower the sacks.
Just one quick follow-up on that. Ben said earlier, he's like, sometimes just training you to stay in there like a tick longer to be able to make the big play. How do you train yourself to do that?
Yeah, it's interesting because you get just kind of the whole process is like, let's get the ball out faster. Let's get through the reads, and sometimes I get through my reads actually too fast. Maybe because of leverage, or maybe because the covers that I'm seeing, and sometimes you just need to hang on. We got special guys, and so sometimes you need to hang on it and let it rip, and then other times it's there was a play that I actually avoided a sack, but I could have thrown a touchdown this past game, and it's those small things. It's like just the big plays right there. I saw it, and I was about to rip it, and I just saw color flash. He was running right at me, and I tried to get out of it, got out of it, and threw in completion. But it's those things that the next level, and something that I talk about with Coach all the time is that's the next level is I do have this ability to get out of stuff, but also there's gonna be times where it's just gonna drop back and let's deliver a ball, and I've done it every so often or whatever, but just doing that more often, and just finding the balance is tough, but that's what we're searching for.
Is that the ball to DJ, by the way? The one you're talking about?
The one
Where you scrambled when you had a touchdown? And was that?
No. Well, that's one of them. 97, and then there was one more roam down the middle of the field, towards midfield, and 90 something came free on the right side, and I end up just moving and evading and getting out of it.
The increase in your rushing yards the past several weeks, is that just coincidence and opportunities, or did you make a conscious decision at some point that you were going to go and do a little bit more? If so, why did you make that?
I think it's been on my mind to be able to help the team in any way possible, and so it was space and opportunity within the game, but there are some times where it's like a play needs to be made or a spark needs to happen, and I think I have all the ability between arm and legs to be able to make it happen, and so whatever comes available first, whether it's a run or whether it's a pass, I feel that I'm there to help out and try and help the team win and stay on track or create a spark.
Caleb, your numbers, your production in the last 5 minutes of games is among the best in the league. The other 55 minutes is not where you want it to be. Respectfully, just to try to understand better, why can't you do that all the time? Why can't you play like the last 5 minutes of the whole game? What can you take from that and extrapolate to the entirety of the game?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's something that we want to get down, and I think it's not only just from my side of it, it's just everybody understanding the what we can be on offense, and we can score fast, we can march down and score in 13 play drives and things like that, and just being able to do that and be efficient instead of having some 3 and outs or anything like that. We got some special talent on our side of the ball on offense, and I think there's times where we can just be better overall, and then towards the end of the game, it's time to go in the game, and you just kind of get into that mode, and like I've said before, defenses have kind of shown you throughout the whole game of what they've kind of game plan for you, and so you get into a rhythm, you get into a flow towards the end of the game, and the mindset changes. I would say just in the sense of we have no other option at that point other than try and score and fight and fight and fight, and I think that's what we do and what we've done, and we do want to showcase, and I want to showcase throughout the whole game that we can play all 60 minutes, and we can put up points, and defense can hold their offense, and we can we kind of start kind of steamrolling, but until that happens, we're going to keep winning games whichever way we need.
So
Yeah,
do you
but
think
you-
in
how do
those
you-
in those last 5 minutes that you may be a little faster, a little more decisive, less inhibited because it's like I said, do or die.
Yeah, I think anytime somebody goes into the fight or flight mode, and you just kind of start flying, you get into a mode, and you don't feel anything. Like I said, you're flying at that moment, and you got to go do it. And so you go into kind of the survival mode, and I think I wouldn't say that I get faster or I get more decisive. Anything like that, I think, it just comes down to we got to win a ball game, and here we go.
Caleb, I'm curious, when you have these plays where, like, maybe you skip a read or you don't hit your check down, but you still turn it into like a very positive play with your legs or whatever. For example, I'm thinking of like your 29-yard scramble down to the 1 yard line. It looked like your check down may have been open. I'm just curious, like, how is that viewed in the quarterback room with your coaches when you guys are reviewing that? Is that a positive play? Is that a negative play? Because obviously it still turned into something really good at the end.
Yeah, I'm also an athlete in the field. I would like to put myself up there with some of the best athletes on the field at the time of all 22 people, all 21 other than myself on the field. And so, I think the progression of my game will become better. And I think part of that is, getting through reads fast and finding a check down. I did it a couple times last game, and then there was times where I felt the pocket collapse or, on that 120-yard scramble, you feel the whole offensive line and D line get squished in there, and you feel a bunch of space, and it's man coverage, and you go take off and try and make a play for the team in that moment.
Some of those opportunities you had to run, like your rushing touchdown, stuff like that, how many of those are actually built into the play? Like how
I don't have many actually. There aren't many design runs for me. I'm more of a throwing cue. I just so happen that I can run, and when the time comes that they open up a gap or there's space available for me. I understand that my legs can be a spark or my legs can be a threat, and I also know that D coordinators hate that because they typically account for all other 10 players on the field, and the QB is typically one that just drop backs and throws a rock around.
What's it been like?
JJ was in your class.
Yep.
I mean, he's because of injuries played 4 games.
Yep.
Do you have an appreciation for just your ability to go out there and kind of get every rep? I don't think you missed a single snap because of injury. Did you have an appreciation for kind of how difficult that is for you, and sympathy for somebody who's been banged up the way he has been?
For myself, I would say it's one of the most important things to being an athlete, to being to trying to be a star in this league is actually being able to be out there. And so for myself, I take a lot of pride in many different avenues of recovery for myself, and so that I can be ready for my guys. Because as they always say, I think the saying goes, the best ability is availability. And so me being able to be ready for Wednesday practice, Thursday practice, and so on and so forth to get to Sunday or whatever day the game is really important to me. So if that means I need to get to sleep earlier in the week and throughout the week, if that needs more body work throughout, always adapting to whatever I'm feeling and understand that's really important. And then I wouldn't necessarily say that I have any kind of sympathy or anything like that. It's a part of our job. Injuries happen, but it's also a part of our job that we make sure that we take care of ourselves, whether it's sleep or whether it's recovery and things like that. So that's kind of how I think about it, kind of how I feel about it, and it's really important for me to be able to be out there, and I really think that I can help my team, and I help my team win games, and so it's really important for me to be out there. Awesome. The Bears.